Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a while since I posted a video. I mean, it's been probably a couple of years. It actually has been a couple of years. But I'm trying to post a little bit more content throughout the months, weeks, hopefully years, but we'll see. But today's one is going to be something quite special because it's kind of continuing on the flow of which I've kind of been doing the last few years, and that's really related to Arma. So we've done tutorials with Arma 2, Arma 3, and now it's kind of Arma Reforger's turn, which has been out for a while, but it's time to do a tutorial on how to create a dedicated Arma Reforger server. So we're going to be doing this on Windows, and we're going to go through every little step that's required in order to get this set up for you and working so you can play with your friends locally and online. So come with me and we'll go through it. Right, so let's start actually creating this dedicated server. So I'm going to go into my Windows PC and we're going to start up by downloading the right files that we need for Steam and then setting up our server file. So let's do this. So first of all, we want to create the folders that we need. I've already created a basic template here, but what you need to do is create a folder called Reforger folder. Within that, server Steam CMD. What I actually do is create them on your desktop, easier to follow and just easier to track really. So after we've done that, let's actually go to the Steam CMD website and download that. So go here. We click on the actual link. Go in here and you can actually download Steam CMD. If we click on Windows, we can go here, download it. We've got the CMD zip, open that up. As you can see, we have the zip here, open the zip, and we want to dump that Steam CMD exe into the Steam CMD folder that we have. So copy that over. There we go, perfect. And we're done with our first two steps. So the next bit will be actually about installing Steam CMD exe into that server folder. And we won't really do this by clicking on the exe. We're going to actually use PowerShell and do it that way. So let's do that now. What we want to do is put this to the side, launch PowerShell. And with PowerShell up, now what we want to do is actually cd into the location of our steam.exe, well, steamcmd.exe file. So let's do that now. What we can do is just go over here, copy and paste this, type cd, copy and paste that, and then we've cd'd into the Steam CMD folder. So now what we want to do is write out a little command, which is going to go over actually using that steamcmd.exe. After that, log in via anonymous. That's not really anyone's Steam account, it's just anonymous ones. You'd have to use your own. Then we're going to force install into the directory of C users and then the location of which you've put that server folder. You'll see that we're going into the actual Arma Reforger app and then we're validating it and quitting the command. So if I press enter now, so it's just downloading the updates and going through. So just wait for that to go through. Steam CMD has obviously been installed, as well as the Arma Reforger server files. So what we have to do now is actually create two things. We've got to create a config file, and we've also got to create a start.bat file as well. Let's get rid of the PowerShell. We don't need that anymore. And you can see this is our Steam CMD folder. We want to get out of here and go into our server folder. You have everything here, all the server files. You have the Arma Reforger server.exe. However, that doesn't point at anything right now. It just kind of creates something and doesn't have a config file for us to actually know what our server is going to be called. Create a new folder, go to new, type in config. Then within here, I want to create a new text document called config. And then we want to create this as not being a text document, but a JSON file. So to open the JSON file, I'd recommend downloading something like VS Code or any code editor. It's going to be the best way in which you can actually add to this file without it corrupting any sort of way. Open with VS Code. So what you can see is that we have an empty JSON file as we've opened it. And now what we want to do is put a template in there, a template config file. This is going to be our main configuration. We want to go to the server config Arma website. It's a community wiki, and I've got it up here, and I'll put the link in the description. When we're in here, we can go all the way down to the bottom over here and go to template. And then pretty much what we want to do is just copy this example one we have here. Just copy all this down to here, Control C, get out of this. And then what we want to do is just paste this into our JSON file. And this just kind of gives us our basic setup for what we need. And I'll go over what we need to change in order to make it work for yourselves. So let's go from the top down. So public address. Your public address is going to be your public IP. So I'm going onto what's my IP address, and I can find my public IP address, which is your IPv4 address. And then you can just paste that in there as well. So for me, it will be this. See these ports? We want to make sure we take note of these ports because those are we're going to have to port forward later. We're going to go down to name. Let's type for noobs. Classic. Type in password of 1234. And then if you want an admin password, you can type that in as well. I'm not going to do that right now. Just have it as the for noobs 1234. And then what you can see here is we have the campaign, which you can keep the same, and whether or not you want to support different platforms as well, like we talked about. And then your game properties, your max distance, depends on your, if you're hosting this from the PC you're going to play from, which I'm going to do right now, which I'm assuming probably people wouldn't. You know, you can change these to adapt to your sort of requirements, let's say. We can save this. So that's saved into our folder. We can get out of here. And now we want to go right click and create a server start.bat file. So let me just type that in now. Go text server start, and then get rid of the txt and type .bat. With that done, it'll change the extension. Great. And now you want to open this in like Notepad++ or just Notepad on its own. I've realized I do not have Notepad++ installed anymore, so I'm just going to click on edit and that should just open Notepad. Perfect. So with that, what we're going to want to type in is this. So we're going to do @echo_off, and then you want to cd into your drive /d into your drive that you're doing it. So I'm going to change this from there to this, which is the current directory that we actually are using right now. And then we see Arma Reforger Server.exe. And then we have the config, and it's pointing to that config file we just created. So then we want to save this. Save. Perfect. Exit out. And now we want to port forward. I won't be going over specifically how to port forward, but reality is you want to go to your local IP address, your router's IP address, should I say, and you want to go into there, into your firewall, depends on your router, and then type in those numbers that we talked about before, which I think was 2001. And there was another one of which we want to type in and make sure is accurate. Once that's done, you'll then be able to create and start your server. So what we can do is then we can click server.start, and then what you'll see is this big, huge terminal open, and this is it starting this is it starting the server. So it takes a while, and then what you'll see in a bit is it kind of hangs. And as soon as it hangs, that means your server is up, running, and you can find it within the game itself. So let's do that now. If I go to Arma, if I go to Arma Reforger, launch, it's going to launch. Still loading things. Launch the game. With the game loaded, now we can go to multiplayer. On multiplayer, we probably want to type in our server. which was called 4Noobs, and there we can see it. We've got the conflict everyone, which is that scenario ID. So we can swap that out for different scenario IDs that are related to the different sort of campaign maps and things like that they have, as well as if you want to add mods, you can also do that as well in here. Type in the password, which was 1234. Join. There we are, we joined. And then I can click join there, and we're into the actual server itself, which is really good. So here we go. Chose my army, where I want to be, choose where I want to deploy, and we've got a server hosted, ready to go. All good. And that is how you create a Arma Reforger dedicated server. It's actually a lot easier than it used to be. So with that, I'll say thank you, and I'll let you have fun on your server.